Monday's getting Monday off to a good start. Broke air line, had to replace this. Alright everybody. Started the day off here in Houston. Had something that probably the first time it's ever happened really. I was doing a U-turn into receiver where I was taking a load to, and it was a big wide area, and when I made a U-turn to back into my dock, because I like to back in from the sight side, I don't like the blind side anywhere, and when I did, it snapped the red airline, the main airline, it just snapped it in half. Right along in here, right along in this area. You know, it got hung up. It got hung up down here on these what we can theorize is it got hung up on one of these bolts or something down here, and when I straightened back out, it broke. So that's why we kind of got it up here a little bit. I might move it down a little bit further. I've never had one that high before, but I'm gonna see how it goes. Anyway, had a guy, first time I ever had this happen too. Had a guy, the receiver. Now I couldn't move the trailer at all because I was broke. I was stuck right there. I was able to push. I was able to build up enough air to move the trailer because I was still in the turning position. So I had to build up air. I had to keep inching it up. I finally got it straightened out, and I couldn't move it any further. If I had that's why I hate these automatic transmissions. I hate them. If I had like a 13 speed or 18 speed or even a 10, just a manual, either way, it's got a granny gear. I could have pulled that thing and got it up there. This automatic, it's air operated, and it's just not made to do that. That's why I don't like them. But it's what's in this truck. So anyway, but walked inside to ask them if they could use one of their yard jockeys to put the truck. I was only about maybe 50 feet from the door I was backing it into, and I asked them if they could use one of their little yard jockey guys. And I could drop the trailer right there, and they could just back the trailer. Well, they couldn't do that. You know, they were worried about liability and whatever. I'm like, so they told me what I needed to know about them. So, but I guess the good Lord just works in mysterious ways, because as soon as I walked outside, this man walked up behind me, and he graciously he was already in the door. He dropped his trailer, and he had to walk about 100 yards down there to where his door was at. He had to walk down there. He had to drop his trailer. He had to come up here. He hooked to my trailer after I dropped it. That was in the way, in the driveway, really. He hooked to it, and he backed it in. I mean, that's just, you don't see that out here anymore. I was very fortunate. I think he was an older guy. He's been around a little while. That's how we used to do out here back in the day. That used to happen all the time. You don't see that hardly anymore. I'm just very thankful to him. I think he worked for Bob Evans Farms, the sausage people. I tell you, I'm very appreciative to him. Very thankful for him doing that. That saved me a lot of time. I was able to, and then my dispatcher, we had a driver in the area. Now these road service people, they charge the crap out of it. It would have cost probably $1,000 to have somebody come out here just to fix this. But we had a driver in the area. That's why I was talking about having tools with it. And I didn't have a crescent wrench. You gotta hook it. You gotta hook it Yeah, right there. See them airlines right there? You gotta have Teflon tape, and you gotta have a big crescent wrench, or some, a big crescent wrench, or some channel locks, which is what we needed actually both of them. I tell you one thing I'm gonna get is a vise, like something you see in a shop. I'm gonna get me one of those. You can buy them. They're small. I'm gonna get me one, and I'm gonna get me some more tools and get me some, you know, where I have a good variety. I have a good variety. I just didn't have no crescent wrenches, and you needed that to put these. Cause you gotta take these glad hand things off. See where see that new tape? That's Teflon tape right there. You gotta take that off, and then these things unscrewed. You gotta put either have somebody to hold it, or put it in a vise and screw it back on there. And it's got to be very, very tight, because if it's not, it'll leak air, and that's the last thing you want. So anyway, he got there. They got another driver to go to a place and get this set up. These airlines. It came like this, and it actually worked out pretty good, because he had an airline bust on his truck a week or so ago, and he needed the blue line. You got a red line, which is the main one. You can't go anywhere if this one goes bad. This one here is like a backup. You know, it's like a backup. But I mean, if this goes bad, you can still drive the truck. It's just a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more difficult to stop it, but you can at least drive it. You know, I've had that happen before, where this would, like, somewhere. These are the good hoses. I had them old blue cheap plastic hoses, and them things go bad. Now, this is back in the day. I've had them go bad on them before. These right here were real good, but anyway, but he was able to get this set up, and he came there and he stayed and fixed. Me and him both fixed this, and he actually needed the blue line. He needed this line here, the blue one, the backup line. He needed that because that's the one that broke on his truck, and he had kind of rigged it up, but he needed that line, so he was going to use that and fix his truck. So it worked out for both of us. And it just, you know, happened to be that we were both in the same area. That ain't no accident, you know. We all know the good Lord worked that out. So I got me some brand new airlines and a brand new cord, and I'm good to go. Come on. So that's how this day started, and I got to go about 3 hours up the road near Nacogdoches, Texas, and I load up there in the morning. The place I unloaded, they take a long time, so they. Just is what it is. I'll get some detention off that, because it took them 5 hours to get me unloaded. So anyway, we fished. They did steal my load locks. These things right here. They did steal the ones out of the trailer, but I ain't gonna sweat it. You know, I can use these on my next load, and it you know. I did hold that door open, even though they held me up 5 hours when they were ready. When they had me unloaded, they were screaming at me to get the trailer out of the door, when I had already told them. Even if I was back there, I couldn't have moved the trailer, because I can't move anything without this airline working. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it all worked out. And that's how this Wednesday morning got started. So, but it worked out for me and my man. I'm gonna get something to eat, get me a shower, and we'll talk to y'all later. everybody. Well, headed up here to my next load. Basically had the day off. Got me a shower. Cleaned up. You know, just hanging out. I came up here. I'm in Lufkin, Texas right now. I'm only about maybe 45 minutes or so away from where I gotta go load at. And I pulled in here. I figured I would just take a chill pill. And there's a truck broke down in this truck stop right in the middle of the driveway, right in front of me. You can't make this stuff up. Just can't do it. Well, anyway, hopefully they'll have him out of the way for too long. I was gonna leave out of here probably 3 o'clock or so, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Ease over there, go get my load, and take it back up to the yard. That's all I'm doing. Looks like I might be going to the Oklahoma game this Saturday. My family in Oklahoma, they had asked me about going to the Oklahoma game, and I told them I would talk to them about getting, that they could work it out. And that's really what they're doing. They're just kind of keeping me close, because I get Thanksgiving next week. And, I tend to get worked up if I'm not full bore going 100 miles an hour all the time, like I'm shot out of a cannon all the time. I'm just, if I'm not running full speed all the time, I get paranoid. Not necessarily paranoid, but you know what I'm saying. I just feel like I'm not running to my potential. But all they're trying to do is they're trying to keep me close, because I had asked to get for Thanksgiving, and that's all they did. So patience is a thing that I'm trying to do better. The area I'm trying to do better in. I don't do too good in it, especially when it comes to me. When it comes to certain things, I can have all the patience in the world, but me, I'm just full speed ahead all the time. I'm trying to learn to not do that. Anyway, I came up here, got fuel, and looks like they got him cranked up. I see they got the engine running in the truck, so they might be able to get him on out of here. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's gonna be a short day. Today was a short day. Good morning. Well, I'm gonna show you. I figured since we had an airline issue yesterday, that'd be a good opportunity to show y'all about this right here. Being that we're in the winter season now, apparently. It's not cold enough for it here yet, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. It's not gonna hurt nothing. That right there is green rubbing alcohol. If you're ever in a situation where it's like freezing, if you're in ice and you're running through a bunch of snow and it's just like super cold, like below 20, and it's just cold, straight out. You might want to get you some of this stuff right here. What you do, all right, I'm gonna set. Okay. Now, so you take this thing, see? You take it just like this. You take your grain of rubbing alcohol and you pour in here. And you just fill it up to the top. Then you take it, don't let it spill out. And you put it in there. You want to do it to both of them. I'll be going. I'm gonna get some groceries this weekend anyway. I just have to get me some more alcohol. It's not like it costs that much anyway. But you fill both of them up. So it ain't, you don't hurt nothing. But it kind of settles down in there a little bit. So I'm keeping it flat and I'm not letting it spill out. And then you take it and you stick it in there. Alright? Make sure that thing's level. You know what I'm saying? Crank the truck up. Actually, I don't even have to crank the truck up. Crank the truck up. Let me get my tongue untied. Alright, now I'm going to supply air to the trailer. See? When you go to hook to a trailer like that, you go to put your air lines on there, like your glad hands. Sometimes those grommets, those little rubber pieces inside there, sometimes they might be ripped or they might be missing. There's any number of things. So if you got, it's not gonna have a good seal. You can't take you can't take your glad hand and hook it on something that don't have that rubber piece in there. That little rubber piece could make or break it. If you don't have something on you, and you go to hook to a trailer and it don't have, and it's missing, which they can be. Some guys will hook to a trailer. Their trailer might have one that's ripped or missing or whatever, and they'll go to another trailer, to your trailer that you're coming to pick up, and then they just take one off that, stick it in theirs. So, just when if you got you a handful of them like that on y'all at all times, I mean, it takes 5 seconds to throw that thing in there. But if you don't have them, that's a big deal. You won't be able to hook your airlines up. Yeah, see, these little grommets that go inside those glad hands on the trailer. That's the part that sticks out that you hook the glad hand to. This is the inside part of it. And what you do is you take this thing and just kind of bend it like that, kind of bend it in, and just slide. See how it's got that, how it's set like that? You take it, kind of bend it in like this, and you just take it, you push it in, and it'll just kind of pop in there. So you always want to keep a good supply of those. Because you can, like I said, you can hook to a trailer, and you can hook to a trailer, and when you go to, sometimes they're just missing. One thing I can do, take time like this, just kind of look over your stuff. Gives you a chance to really look over your stuff a lot closer. Make sure all this stuff's good and tight, arm. Your drive shaft, brakes. You see if there's any leaks in the differential. Airbags feel good. Make sure the shocks ain't moving or anything like that. Need a grease, put grease on it last week, and then grease it again. Now, see how it's dry right there? Keep grease on it. See, there's your locking jaws. And all these air hoses. Gives you a good chance to just kind of look everything over. Look at your springs, just put your hand on them, just give you a chance to check it out real fast. Stay here. Airlines. Got more airlines there for various things. You can gives you a good opportunity to take an air gauge, which I have, and check the tires properly. That's one thing I do when I'm at a place like this. When I have time, I'll take my air gauge and I'll stick the tires. See that little grease fin right there? Grease goes inside this thing. So I mean, you just want to keep it greased up. Grease is the lifeblood of any truck, really. You know, you just check everything out, make sure ain't nothing loose. You know, stay on top of everything. You know, you'll always be in good shape. See, I took my load locks out. Put my new load locks, those new load locks, put them in the trailer. I want to show y'all where I got this fifth wheel set. See how see those pins right there? See those pins right there? See how see where they're at in relation to the front and rear axle on the truck? They're not dead in the middle. See how that this piece right here, this thing right here, that's pretty much, that's just about the middle. Maybe a little bit further, maybe a shade towards on the back end of the middle, but I have it right on the back edge of the front axle. Alright, so just about any load I put on this trailer, if it's 45,000 pounds or if it's 15,000 pounds, I won't ever be over on my steers. Hey everybody, we are still in Texas. I unloaded yesterday morning in Houston early. I got there before lunchtime. Had to go basically 3 hours of the road, so I didn't do anything yesterday, and I haven't done anything today. I'm still waiting to get my load. They took my trailer back there earlier to load it. This truck's just lined up here waiting on their loads. I mean, this is, I wonder how they would feel if I had the same urgency of taking, when they finally get this load, of taking it to where it's got to go, and having the exact same urgency they have to load it. If I had that same urgency to get up there, just got there when I felt like it. I'm supposed to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is not that far, but you know, how would they feel? Just another little rant. Good thing is, this is a gorgeous day. Look at that. It's a little cool, but it's all good. Man, look at that. That big pretty ride right there. How about that? Man. Pinnacle, Little Rock, Arkansas. Yeah, alright. What? It's not freezing cold out there, but it's a little bit chillier than what I'm liking. I am from Georgia, you know. I might have a thick skin, but I have thin blood. So I would rather, I'll say this, I would rather be in weather like this than down there where I'm from in the middle of the summertime. It's just overwhelmingly hot down there. It's not the heat that gets you, it's the humidity. And we have what they call, what has been said for years is the heat index. Now they call it the feels like temperature. But it just suffocates you. If it's a 98 or 100 or even over 100, we might have 95% humidity, and you throw that humidity on top of it, it just suffocates you. And it just feels like fire on you. But I will say this, there's you can call it dry heat, humidity and all that. I'm gonna tell you this. I have felt 120 degree heat, and I felt it on I-40 when you cross into California. They call that the valley. You're right near Death Valley. And when I stuck my arm out, it felt like I stuck my arm into a preheated oven. That's, I don't care. You call it dry heat, you call it humid, you call it what you want. That's just hot. It's hot, big time. Anyway, I'm just killing time. You know, just killing some time, just like that song says. Yeah, I'm gonna stand in the grass out here. I'm just tired of being inside that truck. Yeah, I tell you, the things you see at these plants, all you can do is laugh. That's all you can do. Yeah, we're gonna I guess whenever this load's ready, we're gonna hook up to it, get on up the road, do something. The guy told me he picked up my trailer at 9 o'clock. The appointment time was for 7 o'clock. I sat over here for 2 hours, and then then he grabbed my trailer. He said he had to take it back there to load it. And that's a good looking truck right there. And he said it'll probably be after lunch before they get it loaded. Okay, after lunch. Yeah, that's not very specific. You know, that could be midnight tonight. So, like I said, at this point, I'm getting paid to sit here. They pay us about $20 an hour to sit here, so I'm not really complaining. Of course, it taps out. They have a cap off that, which I don't think that's fair. I mean, we're still sitting here. We did our job to get here on time, but then they want to put a cap on. That's just not. I don't. You know, it still takes plenty of time. It still takes that many hours to get the trailer loaded. So yeah, whatever. I'm just trying to make a day out of this. Like I said, it is a beautiful day. That's kind of a cool view right there. You got the sun right there, water tower, in this little Texas town with this processing plant here. It smells good too. Just kidding. Well, we're gonna, like I said, we're just trying to make the best of this. Just trying to make the best of it. Hey again. I just want to clarify something from what I said yesterday. When I said about the blue line, you could drive it with the blue line messed up. What I was saying, to clarify, you can drive it, but you cannot drive it like, you can't just drive it down the road and go through a DOT station. You don't want to do that. I mean, you can at least drive it and get it to a repair shop, either a repair shop or a truck stop or somewhere that sells, you know, truck airlines. That's what I was talking about. I wasn't saying, you know, that you could just drive it down the road. I wanted to clarify that. In all reality, you're not supposed to drive it like that. I mean, it takes both airlines for it to work properly, for the brakes to stop. When that blue line's not working like it's supposed to, the brakes jump around, and I mean it stops, but it's like it's pushing. It's not. It don't want to. it don't want to stop right. Okay, I mean, it's really a judgment call. If you want to, now if the red airline brakes like mine did yesterday, that's the first time I've had that happen. When that red airline brakes like that, well, you don't have no choice. You can't. You got to get it fixed right there. I mean, unless you get somebody to do like happened to me yesterday, where the guy actually moved the trailer for me. Unless you get somebody to move it, you're not moving that trailer nowhere with that red airline brake. It's just not going to happen. But that's why I wanted to clarify that. I don't want nobody coming back saying, "Hey, this guy said, you can drive." No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying, if let's just say that you're 5 minutes from a repair shop. You want to drive very carefully, but you could at least limp it to the place and save a service call, which they'll charge it for some ridiculous rate. Now, the way we did it yesterday, we had a driver that was in there, and it worked out for me and him both, because he was able to take that blue line off of the one I had, because he had a blue line brake last week, which is the secondary line, and mine was the primary with the red one. So it worked out for both of us, and he had the crescent wrenches that I did not have, and it worked out. It worked out. It saved. The only cost that the company had was getting those hoses. That was it. Most of your bigger companies are gonna call a service call out there, and these service people, they're gonna charge some ridiculous amount of money. Like I said, it probably would cost $1,000 to do something like that. When if you just a little bit of know-how, a couple of guys can fix that. Like I said, when I go home in December, I'm going to be buying me a new set of tools, and I'm going to get me a vise, like a shop, like you see one in the shop that's on like a bench top or something. And they can make a smaller version of one of those, and I'm gonna get me one of them things. Because I could have used that yesterday. If I'd have had that, I could have done this by myself. But it took both of us, because you got to break that thing loose, break those glad hands loose that I was showing you yesterday. But yeah, we're still sitting here. We're probably, in all honesty, I'm probably gonna be here all night. If I get out here tonight, I'll be shocked. It just is what it is. I mean, it's right here at Thanksgiving. Normally I wouldn't be sitting here like this. I would have already, I would have demanded somebody do something. I had a couple of instances first part of this year that is what happened. I told one place I wasn't sitting there long, and I told my company, I'm not going to sit here like this. You can get mad at me or you can do what you want to, but I'm not sitting here. Y'all need to find another way. And they did. Actually, the place got me in there and got me unloaded. I mean, they told me it's going to be 20-something hours before they could even get me in there. Miraculously, after I told them I wasn't sitting there, that they could just get somebody else to haul that load. Miraculously, they got me in there and got me loaded. It's amazing. Yeah. Another situation, getting unloaded. I'd been sitting there forever, and I walked in to get I just told them, hey, I just need my paper back. I'm fixing to leave. Miraculously, now I'd been sitting there for hours. Now, I just told them, hey, I just need my paperwork back. I'm finna take your load that you ordered, and I'm finna take this load somewhere. I might take it back to Oklahoma where I got it from. But I'm not finna sit here, because apparently you don't need it. Well, miraculously, they got me a door. An hour later, I was unloaded. So, That's what I was talking about the other day, about not allowing these people to just run all over me. I'm a little bit more lax today because I just came back to work a month or so ago, and it's right here at Thanksgiving, and I'm not sweating it too bad right now. It just is what it is. Pretty much the rest of the year is gonna be like this. You know, I'll be going home in December, and for my birthday, and I'm going to a concert that I go to every year for Christmas. I got I got stuff from last year. I'll show some of that on another video. I'm gonna show some different things on some videos coming up. I'm gonna show part of how this year has gone as far as what happened to me in a personal. I feel like it'd be encouraging. So I mean, just be an encouragement to people, folks. Just try to be an encouragement. And you never know what a word or a gesture or whatever, you never know how far that can go for somebody. It may save their life. You never know. I've honestly been at a point in my life that the thought crossed my mind. And it wasn't just a fleeting thought, but I actually pondered it. My faith kept me from doing it, from acting on that. The devil's a lie, folks. The devil's a lie. But I mean, but somebody who don't have a strong faith, or somebody who don't have a support system, instead of just on their own, you never know. You never know. And just a simple gesture or a word could beat all the difference it takes for somebody. I mean, you never know. So just try to be kind. Try to be encouragement to people. It takes very little effort to be kind. I think it takes more effort to be a butthole and a douchebag to somebody than it does just to be nice. That don't mean letting people run all over you. You're not just a punching bag for somebody, but I mean, you can be, be an encouragement. Anyway, I'm probably going to close. This will probably be a short video. I don't really have a whole lot to put in today because I've just been sitting I sat pretty much all day yesterday, and I drove up here. I drove up and parked at the truck stop last night, and then I drove over here about an hour away this morning, and I will have another 10-hour break in just sitting here doing nothing. Fortunately, I got some food and I got stuff I need to entertain myself with. I got Fubo TV on my phone and on my iPad, and I got games on my phone. I can keep myself. I watch the YouTube channels I watch. I keep myself entertained. Maybe the good Lord just figured I needed this much rest. Like I said, I'm not sweating too much because it's right here at Thanksgiving, and I know it slows down this time of year. I'm not gonna sweat it too much, and it just is what it is. I think they were talking about getting me to Oklahoma City probably in the next couple of days. I might just be over there most of next week. I'm gonna do a video probably on its own about what I'm thankful for. I have plenty to be thankful for. Even though I'm the lone survivor in my family, I lost my father when I was in my early 20s. He just dropped dead of a heart attack. I lost my mother in 2020. I know she's in heaven. 3 weeks after that, I lost my nephew. he had COPD. He had a real bad, like a bad asthma attack, and he was on life support for about a week. And then my sister ended up taking him off life support, and three people got his organs. So in essence, he lives on, so others can live. And it was on Easter Sunday morning. There was no accident either. And then first of this year, I lost my sister. Like I said before, I lost her physically, but I did not lose her spiritually. I know she accepted the Lord to her heart before she passed away. I had to take her off life support, and that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Driving to the hospital that day was the hard. I cried all the way to the hospital, and but I knew I had prayed the night before. I said, Lord, I need your help, and I need to know that I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to be playing God here. And I came in the next morning, and I knew as soon as I saw her that she had suffered enough. And I knew my sister had accepted. She accepted the Lord. And just like Paul said in the New Testament, to die is gain. When she took her last breath, she was in the presence of the Lord. And all three of my family members are living better than any of us right now. And so that's all that matters. Anyway, I'm gonna make a video on that at some point down the road. But like I said, just be an encouragement. It don't take a lot to do that. And don't take a lot to be an encourager. Don't take a lot to be kind. Like I said, I don't mean let somebody just run all over you and be a punching bag. But I try to do people the way I want to be done. And just like that man helped me out yesterday. He didn't have to do that. I guarantee you I'll be eating some Bob Evans sausage for now. Because of it. I'm a big Bob Evans fan now because of it. Me being from Georgia and eating sausage and grits. Let me tell you something about eating some grits. If you eat grits, don't put no cinnamon and all this stuff. I'm gonna tell you how you're supposed to eat grits. You eat them. They got to be cooked right. And you put pepper and you put cheese. Quite frankly, put Kraft, the little single cheese in there, because it melts. It melts a whole lot easier than any other kind of cheese. But grits you have to know how to make grits. And no, they're not cream of wheat. They're grits. Now there's cream of wheat and there's grits. I like grits. They have to be cooked right. They can't be too soupy. They can't be too lumpy. There's a fine line. Grits are good. Ain't nothing better than some cheese grits with some. You gotta have butter. Put a little bit of butter in there. Now here I am talking about losing weight, and I'm not talking about eating cheese grits. I love me some grits, man. But anyway, I could go down rabbit holes from now to doomsday. I appreciate y'all. If y'all happen to watch this video, if you like it, like the video, and consider subscribing if you like it, or not like it. Just consider it. But I guess we'll talk to y'all later. I'm gonna make this little video, just kind of go from there. There ain't a whole lot going on. I'll probably be sitting here probably till tomorrow, probably. Y'all take care of yourself. Be good. Be encouragement to somebody. And I appreciate y'all watching. The ones that are watching, I appreciate y'all. And like I said, I'll be going to my family in Oklahoma City next week for Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna get them to. We're gonna get this GoPro situated and get it where I can use it, and I'll start enhancing the video. It'll be a lot better once I get that GoPro going, and it'll be a whole lot better. I bet you. So appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you. Y'all take care of yourself. See you later.